And this hangout is live. Hey, welcome everybody. I see Don's out there. Don's the first to join. Thanks, Don. I know he's sitting by patiently. I apologize for the little bit of delay, trying to get some things together here. The title: Flat Earth Inside of What? Boy, that's a good question. Brian's here with me. Obviously, Brian and I do a lot of research and chatting together. Peaches is here, obviously my girl, and she also has to put up with me, so I give her credit for that. And is also in the house. Gonna kind of start slow. Hopefully, get some folks over. Getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure. Probably
not
from.
Mine.
Oh, it can't be yours.
It ain't mine. My YouTube's muted.
Okay, hold on one second.
Might be mine. You never know. I can bounce out and bounce back in and see if that fixes it.
No, just no. Let's do the old-fashioned hit the cog and try that.
Okay.
And we'll just give it a second.
Hopefully that
works. Nope, I still got a little bit of feedback, but that actually might. Hold on a second. Let me try.
Ask them in the chat how bad it is.
I think Don's the only one out there.
JR will be here in about 20 minutes, just to let you know.
Good. Oops. I saw Peaches went to join the chat there. Let's see, is that better? Nope.
It's sounding good to me, so I'm not noticing it.
I'm still getting a little bit of a delay. Hold on, here's what I'm going to do. Just let me refresh the live page. Apologize, folks.
Okay, guys, just bear with us. We're trying technical difficulties. So yeah. We're doing what we got to do. Just please hang in there. We'll be done in a second.
Just kind of refresh the live page there. Yeah, it's coming up.
And yes, Peaches, you were first. I'll be first next time. I can almost guarantee it. But no, wait, you started it. That's not fair. You should say 3, 2, 1 and let us try all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That would be a little easier. Nope, I still hear that feedback. I'm not sure why. Maybe, Brian, if you turn your headset down a little, I turn my volume down.
How bad is it? Okay, I'll check it out on my end, but how bad is it on your end?
Yeah, it's like a 2-second delay for some reason.
Okay, let me try something else then.
Must be all those satellites are bouncing off of.
Testing.
Yeah, you're good. I don't hear. Yeah, that's good. I didn't hear your voice.
I think the delay is Google right now because I'm hearing it every once in a while now, where there's a I'll hear you talking and then all of a sudden and then it'll go good. So I think we're gonna have to deal with that tonight. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I got a feeling that's what it's going to be.
All right, gotcha. Because I've got a delay on the live feed on YouTube as well. Okay. Anybody listening? We might even have to go back and edit this a little bit in the beginning, just getting our sound check correctly. Yeah, that's okay. But welcome to Flat Earth.
We try it. We go live first. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Just welcome to Flat Earth Inside of What? Got a few people out there. I know there's a lot of debate out there with all kinds of different things going on, with so many different models and things going on, and research being done, and there's so many great things. And myself as well. Here, bless you. That was Peaches, by the way. So many good things going on. Kind of putting things together with Brian's help, of course, and just going back and forth, and hey, did you hear this or did you see this, and kind of putting a bunch of things together. And for all those that can obviously have watched the last video, which thank you very much. I appreciate any of the comments. The comments actually, I didn't really get comments for some reason. It was more, I guess, of a question mark, like kind of a head scratch as to the model and stuff that we have been trying to come up with. But it encapsulates, if you will, kind of a snow globe version of most everything that everyone is talking about. So the infighting itself that so many folks are doing, not sure. Well, I am sure exactly why they're doing it, because most people want to be, the first one, or the first person, or something like that, which is totally fine. That's just human nature in itself, in the making, and we're not all going to agree. We've said this on many combined videos between myself or Brian, or even with Gabby Safon, Knowledge, Scavenger, Scarecrow,
all of us.
with so many with very different backgrounds, but everybody's all friends. Jibby out there as well, Hillbilly as well. I mean, the list can go, really, it can go on and on with so many good folks that are doing great stuff. Planete Veritas, Robert Bassano, Luke with his stuff. Just all the different things, and yeah, Brian, I mentioned that one already with Hillbilly. There are so many different things that you can kind of, and again, I hate to use the word encapsulate, but that's the one that came to mind while putting this together. And Brian and I talked a little while ago, and I kind of ran a couple ideas past. We were starting to chat about something, and based on the balloon situation with the hydrogen or helium, pardon me, not the hydrogen, pardon me, the helium, helium balloon carrying up of the satellites, and the triangulation of something like that, of how it would work. Earlier today, obviously there's a back and forth about cables and everything else. Well, cables have been being laid in the ocean many years. I mean, a long time. And the cables, you can go back, and I was actually, it was funny because I was watching Jaws 2 today, and Jaws 2 actually has where the Jaws comes after them, a cable junction, of course, where they're all stranded, and everybody knows the movie, and the movies are great. I like them. I love sci-fi. I still like all that stuff. The thing I'm getting at is, look at the year of the movie. Those were in the 70s. Those cables were there for a long time. They didn't just show up. That's a cable junction of a man-made, what they call jetty, because rocks are placed there in a shallow part of the ocean, because they need not a repeater, but a transformer to amplify, so they can send the current and keep it, in, how shall I say it? Basically, keep the current going so that everybody can turn their lights on. Let's just put it that way. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to get into all the technical part of that or anything else. So cables have been laid in the ocean. How would they get, a signal from one side of the flat plane to the other? And kind of hit me. I had taken a trip over the past couple days with Peaches. We had a good time, by the way. And I'm looking around the environment that I'm in, noticing not only the bells and whistles and all the stuff going off, but also looking around and noticing the everything that's right in front of your face. And again, keeping in mind about that, and looking wall to wall, looking around, and all this, not only the symbolism, but they're and I use the term they, and many people that have been around me know that I use the term they, and you look around and they are using symbolism right in front of your face, and they're trying to tell you, listen, dumbass, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it, and if you can put 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, and it doesn't mean 33 or 666 or anything else, that's a whole topic for a different topic that we'll get onto in a future broadcast that we're going to make. This one's more about what's right in front of your face and trying to wrap around the different models, because everybody's fighting about the same damn thing. They're fighting about the same model. They're fighting about something that is in my opinion, and I believe Brian's opinion as well. I don't want to speak for him. We're on the same page here, and we're looking at this and saying, I'm not sure, but boy, it really does add a lot of things together. I would invite anyone, please, to go back and look at the last video on my page, and not to promote it or anything. Just take a look, see what you think, add something to it. That's what it's all about. It's just adding to. Hey, I saw something. Did you see it too? Do you? And your friend will say, "Whoo, hey, I did, but it was a vehicle, it had a racing stripe. Well, did you see the color?" And your third friend goes, "Well, it looked red, or it looked like an orange racing stripe or something." And then you kind of put, everything together. It doesn't mean that any one of the people were wrong, but through investigating a little bit, instead of just coming out and attacking somebody, you put all the pieces together of what's going on, and you really move forward. And then you have some kind of an idea to present for a lot of people that have a lot of questions and are getting really pissed at each other for some very silly reasons. And I can understand the frustration of the folks that think that it's flat, which I do believe it's flat. I absolutely do. For those who think it's a globe round, well, no, but in a sense, it's surrounded by a globular dome spherical thing, so it's a flat inside of a globe per se. How exactly does it work? Everybody got here within the last, I don't know, I keep saying the last 5 minutes. It's really not that quick, but everybody got here within a very short period of time based on our lifespan so far. So nobody's going to have all the answers, because everyone is asking or poking the finger like, well, what about this and what about this and what? Well, you know what? I don't have all the answers, but neither does that person. So don't point at me and ask me. Help to find out the answers with me. And that's how it really should work with everyone. And that's the biggest problem I see in a lot of these chats and a lot of these arguments with other people, is everybody should be presenting a little bit of something, not arguing, just keeping very calm about it, because nobody knows. And that's the frustrating part, where everybody's temper and egos, and mine has gotten in the way before too. I will absolutely admit that. And get a little heated and debating and stuff like that. It happens to all of us, and then you just kind of calm down. You take a little bit of time and you sit back and you look and you say, "Huh." And that's again another thing that I had come to me over the past couple of days, where I wasn't doing anything, and now obviously we're just making this live video where we thought about it. And what I'll do is I'll actually ask Brian to jump in here for a minute, and if he's got anything else to add before I'll start to do the presentation that we spoke about and kind of go from there. Go for it. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I got locked out for a second. It lagged for a minute, and I couldn't tell if you guys could see me or not. So what did you say?
Oh, I
just
was
the last
actually,
part.
No, we were actually ordering takeout, and I was just asking what you want. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, I'll take one of everything.
Yeah, exactly. No. I was just asking if you had anything, anything to add before. Or, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just go into the presentation, and then as we go along, I'll just do a pause, and I'll have Brian jump in. And also, we're also watching chat, and that's very important, because watching the chat,
I'm trying to.
Well, I've got both, and I see on the side about God designed and different things, and there is a creator. There is a creator. I do believe in God, the creator. I do. There. That's it. Now, that being understood, putting everything together, that's going to be the issue, because there are some things where the people that are holding up the book are going to be disappointed, but the people that don't have the book are going to be disappointed because they believe in God. Some do, some don't. People that believe in different religion, or Hinduism, Buddhism, the Book of Talmud, Judaism, which is not Christian Judeo. Don't get me started on that one. The definition of Israelites and the original tribes and everything else. That is something where everyone is going to walk away a little bit hurt, because they had this wrap around. This is it. This is it. Like, I got the answer. Nobody does. Even I don't. I never profess to do so. But, and I hate using that word, but I will retract the word. But. I will say, however, looking at a bunch of different models from a bunch of different people that are brilliant at this, and putting together what they have brilliantly said and looked up and came up with, that's where I'm coming up slowly with what I'm, showing everyone.
Now, stop by. Just to let you know. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just saying sorry. I was briefly, you know how I jump in there and let you know information. I was just letting you know. Knowledge might be stopping by in a few. Just letting you know.
Okay, good. No, absolutely. And the reason we like to keep.
Hello.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Paula. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Had a busy day, but not too sleepy yet.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and present, and then we'll have a little bit of chat. And obviously, let's keep an eye on the side chat too, because I like to hear feedback from everyone, and I think everybody should be included. The side chat or not, or really anybody, because it's really everybody's model. It doesn't belong to me or anyone. I mean, Brian and I did a video a couple back because obviously people have a habit of like just taking it and claiming it and trying to sell. No, it's not. It is not to be monetized. Clearly, it's something that is an idea that is in the works, and it needs everybody's help. Oh, excuse me, to actually present an idea with so many different things. And what I'll do is, if I can be heard, well, you know what? I can rattle on for another two. Brian's got something to take care of.
You're good. I just grabbed it. I'm good. Go.
Okay. All right. Yep. Actually, Brian and I went over this earlier. So let me go ahead. Like shout out, because I have to stand up because I'm using two computers here, if you can believe it, and just kind of chat about the satellite situation here. Everybody says, which I am in agreement. Okay, satellites don't exist. They're not up there. They're not this. They're not that. This is not drawn to scale. So it's not drawn to scale. It's literally not this close. So let's get that understood first. The other thing is, the last video that was done was more of a very detailed depiction of the possibility of the saltwater NaCl with the H2O, and the center firmament of the dome actually spinning, causing a sound vibration. You can go back and watch that one and get a more detailed description of what that is. So in thinking, okay, well, the satellites, and listening to, Robert Bassano does great stuff, Planetae Veritas. Please go watch his stuff. Good, really good stuff. Good presentation. And several others. I don't mean to. And please forgive me if I don't mention everyone, because there's so many good ones out there that I've watched, as well as Brian. And let's just, this right here. What?
No,
somebody's
go
got
ahead.
some.
Go ahead.
Somebody got some feet. Okay. The helium balloon. Okay, the NASA helium balloon. Okay, the balloon right here is tethered to a satellite. Okay, so and you know what? I don't really know what they look like because I haven't seen them in the sky. So don't hate me for that one. We'll just go with that. So we've got the helium balloon. We've got the tethering right here, and the little the big satellite underneath. Okay, and that happens in 3 locations.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say let's say somebody's really far away, like down at the I don't know, give me a point, like Cape Horn or the Horn of Freedom, or what's the other one? I forget what it is. You know, they're down at the southern tips of the civilization before you hit the ice wall and all that kind of stuff.
They're on the other side, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah, they're big. And I should have drawn the little person down here, but we don't have to do that. That'll be a different chat. So let's say they're way down here and they've got their receiving antenna, their receiving antenna down here, and they want to get some TV. Okay, well, this right here is the TV station. Obviously, just thrown in the box up here. And they said they have this the sending, or the tower that actually sends the signal. And how would they get it so far away, just over a distance where, okay, you've got a mountain range in the middle, and you've got all, so obviously the sound's not going to go like bebop, bebop, bebop all the way down. So how would they accomplish getting it from way up here?
In the beginning, you mean? In the beginning, when they started connecting everything, right?
Yeah, where the TV station is located. That's where the signal originates from, and that's done by cables. You know, cables that come from the actual stations that are emitting or the live on air, receiving the information, send it. Everything goes to here. That's the main station. The station puts it up into their tower, sends it out. Boom. Okay, well, if you're sitting right here, well, you know, obviously you've got local TV. It's all done by cable. It's all done by local towers, similar to cell towers, which those things, I don't care what anybody says. You look at a cell tower, it doesn't have just one antenna. It's got like 40 of them up there.
Oh yeah. Easy. And they're not. Yeah. They're antennas. They're repeaters. They got everything on them. That's what we used to when we used to install them. We put everything on there. We literally broadcasted TV off them too. So that's what I mean. When you use your dishes to get satellite, they literally have they call it a backup system that is on your cell phone towers that they claim is their backup system.
Okay, so let me go through this a little quicker. I don't want to delay. So here the TV station sends a signal to the tower. The tower sends a signal here, but that's the problem because you're way over here. So it sends it up to this one, pings it up to this one, pings it up to this one, pings it down to the receiving tower, which then pings it to, and that's a satellite dish, by the way. That's not like an ugly little snake. That's my best rendition of a satellite dish with a little thing on top there. And here you are, this is you right here, and that's your TV. Here's your house. Satellite receiving comes in, comes down to your TV. This is you watching, I don't know, your favorite cooking show. I know Paul was going to like that one. Your favorite, and so will Pete. Your favorite cooking show in the front room, and that's pretty much it. It just pings around from balloon to balloon to balloon, which could, I'm not saying they do, perhaps would be carrying this very heavy satellite, which is the reason that they're now going from these balloons. If you notice in what I'm doing, and if there's a question or something, Brian, interrupt me because I'm not watching chat.
I'm watching. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay, I'm good. Okay, all right. So because obviously there's going to be, it's hard to draw this stuff, like redraw it quickly. So I want to just kind of let everybody take that in for a second. So what I'll keep going with is, so Brian and I had a little discussion, and we were both on the same page with this, where you know, Google's announcing it's going to be flying its own drones and getting internet to everyone. What's another? I mean, you know, obviously everybody out there, you can go on and talk about this for hours on different companies that are putting their own drones up there, and they're having these people, you know, basically sit in a trailer somewhere, God knows where, flying these drones around so that, you know, you can have constant service 24/7 and all this kind of thing, because it's more economically feasible than, and of course, you know, I don't know this for a fact, but of course, if we're all running out of the helium, that's going to be a problem in the future, and this is more of the older technology which is now being replaced by those specific drones.
Yeah, slowly. We had the wires first.
Yep.
Then we had basically what you would say the radio waves. We went that way. And just technology slowly, but within 100 years, we went from horse and buggy to being able to fly. I don't want to say to the moon, but having that capability to fly up.
Right.
It's so unbelievable. But yeah, we went from lines to basically waves to now they claim that they were bouncing off satellites, which they could be in this demonstration. They could be. But it ain't the satellites that people are thinking. Period.
That that actually answers and can kind of really, you know, calm down the situation, because the folks that are saying, oh, it's a globe, it's a globe. Well, this description here is globular. Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's globular. Yes. It's got different layers of firmament in there. You've got different things happening, similar to people that follow biblical studies of all different religions. Pardon me. You've got the flat plane. You've got the situation with salt water, which very well could be reacting to sound vibration. You've got the ice wall, which here, and this is a side view, by the way. This is like a cutaway of a snow globe. Sorry for the bad drawing. I tried to do the best I could, and that's all freehand. Tried to do the best I could with it. Just the flat land with the folks on the flat land. Of course, it's not to scale, but the way the waters above have refilled because of gates open, flooded down, submerged the land, land came back up. It's now on a reset where I pray the gates at the bottom will actually shut and will hit them a medium and stop. I think that's already happened in my opinion, of course. And then the firmament has refilled due to the pressure of the land pushing it back up. Then you have the middle firmament, which divides the water from the gases on the outside, which is where the sun reigns, bringing in the
that would explain the seas going up and down, rising and lowering throughout decades. It's adjusting.
Yeah, and the high and low tides based on some sort of sound vibration is where the idea came from. The salt water, salt reacts to sound on different megahertz. There have been several studies, and you can research, and you can go back and take your pick. So many good things out there that you can research on that, and they could be reacting to the middle layer of the dome is the one that's actually spinning. The stars possibly could be the nanodiamond, which are permanently affixed to the center layer of the spinning middle of the firmament, and that's what's spinning because direct north is still direct north, which would mean they're in the same spot, like every day, north, south, east, west, who knows which direction, but there's a magnetic north, of course, which, again, being told to us by a compass, it's basically that way, and based on where the sun and the moon are, but they also vary from being higher in the sky, lower in the sky, It's just such a shame that so much information was lost from the sailors of several 500,000 years ago, which they knew this. I mean, they can get around without GPS or anything else. And boy, you put us or a bunch. Well, many of us can, but you put a bunch of people in the middle of a field with no GPS. Oh my God! You come back a week later, they'd be starving to death.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
One thing, there was
Sure.
not exactly, but 66 years between the first flight and Apollo 11. Just a little tidbit, little trivia.
From like the first flight period all the way
Yes.
to Apollo 11. Okay.
First powered flight was 1903, so
Yeah.
69. There's 66 years. Just
That's
you know,
less
one
than
of those.
100. Yeah. That's
Yeah, one of
even
those
better.
number again. But as far
Yeah.
as just saying the biblical model, the stars and sun and moon are in the firmament, and the firmament is not the dome. The firmament is the space between this. It's defined really by where the sun and moon and stars are. That's the firmament, and it's the vault or expanse between waters above and water below. So the firmament separates two sets of water. That's all it does.
Yep.
So I'm not sure it would be described by the Bible's model would be a little different, because it wouldn't have like this band that you have that kind of I don't know, I can't point to it, but the arc rainbow type top that you got
Right,
there,
hold on.
the dome.
Hold on, you guys
Yeah.
know what I'm doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what the Bible is saying is that the firmament is the area inside that dome from the land to the top, to the first arc, the inside arc, the dark blue, where you're pointing now, from there to the land is the firmament, is what the Bible's saying, because that's this place where there's no water.
Here. To
Yeah,
But
and that's
what about in between there?
that's where the firmament is, where the sun, moon, and stars are, and it. I could go and read
That's
that.
what we're wondering. Is the firmament, does that mean it's on the inside or is it on the inside? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it inside a bigger strip above?
Well, there's no strip, really. That's what I'm saying. It's the firmament. The only thing above the firmament is water. Okay? I'm
That's
going to go
pretty
find
much-
the passage.
Okay.
Okay. No, and actually, that was a good question. I mean,
Yeah, but going from that point of view, I see what she's saying. Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
maybe I should say like the inner and outer layer of the dome, but the firmament itself is underneath, because if waters were still above and the sun were still above that, with a center layer, and I didn't mean firmament. Maybe I misspoke.
Yeah, it's
maybe-
probably just a terminology issue. Let me just read. It's Genesis 1. Verse 6 says, God said, let there be a vault or firmament, whatever word you choose, between the waters to separate water from water. So God made the vault and separated water under the vault from the water above it. And God called the vault sky. And then you skip down a few verses down to 14. It says, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate day from night. Let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, days, and years. Let them be as lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth. And God made two great lights, greater light to govern the day, lesser light to govern the night, and he made the stars also. So all the sun, moon, and stars are in the vault that separates water above from water below. Okay? That's the Bible model.
That's the Bible's view of it, right?
Right. That's what's different from what you got there.
Yeah, just here again. So the vault would be from here to here.
No. I'm saying put the stick there. There you go. That's the top of the vault. And then there's water above it, like your dark blue wiggly line there.
Right here, yeah.
So we're just using different terminology. That's the problem.
But the firmament itself is not. It's under that inner line right there. Yeah, that would be the top of the vault down to the land. That's the vault or the firmament. And that's where the sun, moon, and stars are, and then there's water above it.
Okay.
When people use the term, there's a firmament above us, they don't understand that we're really saying we're in a firmament.
Yes. Standing on the surface of the earth, we're in the firmament.
How you doing, JR?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, actually, yeah, thank you. Okay, because it's like, and you get so many upside down different versions, everything. Okay, so that, all right. So
we're not just going, sorry to say this, and I'm not meaning no offense to anybody, but we're not going by one specific, we're going by what we can see and trying to go by, like, you know, yeah, we've looked into what some of what the Bible says and this says, like what knowledge is saying. We're trying to just piece this together.
Right. I'm just saying, just for FYI, what the Bible model is.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. No, really. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because myself, because obviously you can go back and read Genesis and be very thoroughly confused.
Right.
And you know, thank you for, yeah, because we might be referring to them in different terminologies. And when we started, and we had some audio issues in the beginning. For some reason, we're all having those recently. We started to talk about, you know, this is like a compilation of a lot of. I've been on the side for a couple of days, but I've been listening and watching and thinking, and something came to me about the satellites and the way you know, they triangulate, and then it hits ground, they triangulate through cables and so forth, and it kind of combines. It really combines almost, and I say almost because obviously not everyone, but it combines almost everyone's model of everything, and yeah, using the terminology the correct way. That's going to be difficult because I know exactly what Paul is talking about, and for that, obviously she's correct. She's the one who will correct us on something like that, definitely. So I guess my terminology was wrong, but I'm kind of just. Boy, it's very hard to get your head wrapped around, and I feel bad because so many people are arguing over what is possibly everyone arguing over the same thing, because this and this has been a compilation with Brian and myself for a while, and you know, a couple of videos we did, because it really tries to encompass everybody's thing on where we could possibly be. Now, the land mass and the land shapes, that is something else we.
That's up to debate. That's up to debate.
Yeah,
like everything else. Like everything else. But yeah,
yes,
that's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is kind of this is more of a starting point for us, of course, and others, you know, and other friends and everybody. And I'm not watching a chat. I saw Jibby was out there and some others and stuff. Welcome, hey, welcome guys. Good to see everybody around. Sorry, I took a little leave of absence there, doing a little bit of research, trying to put something together. But it encompasses the NASA balloons, how they pull the satellites up, how they triangulate, which gets TV to a certain person. And please don't be crude about my drawing. It was done on the fly because if I have an idea, I just start going to town and drawing everything. There's also
no 3D models yet, guys.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Please. There's but in the future there will be, because we're working. Well, actually, I have to say Brian's working with, excuse me, a gentleman who does 3D imaging and stuff, and actual real models in 3D. So we're working with you know, obviously Brian's friend and everything else.
Once we get so far, we can start doing that. Yeah, exactly. We will.
Yeah, because it does become very expensive. So we want to kind of put all the ideas together and possibly get some kind of, you know, working miniaturized model, and maybe give some folks a look at everything in general. But boy, I got to stop saying that word "but." I hate that word "but." However, it encompasses a lot of what everybody's arguing, because the Globers say, well, it's a globe. Well, this is a globe, but it does not mean that the land and the water are actually round on a globe. This is a globe, and it does describe a bunch of different things we've been hearing from different religious backgrounds, including some atheist backgrounds, which don't believe in certain things, which is okay. That's their business if they don't want to. But oh, damn it. However, with the balloon and the helium and the satellites, they are now starting to run out, as you've heard on a lot of other channels. And there are so many to mention, so many that are out there that are really, really good, that do all this kind of research. Take that and kind of piece it all together, and this is what we came up with, because it actually shows almost everyone's idea. Everybody's out there arguing, and they're arguing the same damn thing, because it's all right there, right in front of your face, which is where, and Brian called me last night, and I was, Peaches and I actually took a night off and took a little road trip, and we were there, and it kind of dawned on me last night, and Brian called, and I know there was a special on last night, and I actually missed it, but I did catch it on replay today when we got back, and it was very good. The debate and stuff, and I called him tonight, and I'm like, hey, Brian, what do you think about this? And he saw it before we went online, and he's like, yeah, because we were talking about this last night just a little bit, and then finished it off today. And I know there are so many other people out there that have a lot of different and really good ideas also. That's awesome. I mean, the more ideas, the better. But if you can encompass all those ideas, people, everybody's arguing for the same thing, and everyone's arguing with each other with the same model. It's this almost, and I can't say everything is in there, because there will be those naysayers, and I don't want to call them anything but naysayers. Whatever you want to tag them, please don't. Whatever they want to do is fine with me. They want to hate it, that's fine. Whatever, come up with their own idea. But however, the model that we're putting together, it encapsulates, and in the beginning I said it's very hard to wrap your head around the encapsulates, because I once believed too that I could be out there with the lightsaber and the Millennium Falcon, and all that kind of thing. It's not going to happen, and it took me a while to realize, oh crap, even my kids and grandkids and everybody else down the line, they're not going to really be able to do that, which it's kind of a refreshing moment, because you will start to search for the actual truth, and then start to draw, which I have a habit of doing. I have sticky notes, which Peaches will tell you are all over the place, and notes and notes and notes and notes about different things that I've watched, and where to go and what to watch and how to see and who to see, and put things together. I would ask anybody from all different sides. I don't care if you're a glober, a cell earth, flat earther, a biblical scholar, the list goes on and on, or an atheist, or any of these folks. Is there something there that is missing that doesn't cover? And I know that obviously NASA naysayers and stuff. Yeah, they're not. We're not getting out, folks. Let's face it. I definitely believe that. It kind of wraps everything together with everything, and that's what's very interesting as we've been putting this together piece by piece by piece, because looking at it and just bouncing ideas back and forth, we just come up with a model which we have not finished. Obviously, it's a model in the making, and I do acknowledge also that Paula is correct. There are certain things where I may have titled with the dome and calling it the firmament, and that part I'm still working through. I was doing more of a generic, but Paul is correct in in the way Genesis is written with the firmament and above and below. I was trying to encompass so many things into one model. That's the hard part. That's the hard part, is encompassing all these ideas, because there are so many out there. And the main thing is, nobody should be mad at anybody, because at the end of the day, when everybody goes to sleep, which could be very early in the morning, possibly the next day, very early at night so they can get up early in the morning, no matter what happens, everybody's here. Everyone's here, and that's my belief. It's not a kumbaya thing. It's more of a, we're all here. Everybody really needs to work together, because to figure it out, there are so many other things besides flat Earth. That you can go with the legal system or the monetary system, or the things that people do in everyday life with food and GMOs. And there are so many other things out there to go to, and I acknowledge all of them. It's a good place to start if we kind of encompass a lot of things and ideas around, so everybody kind of has a starting point. And Paul, if you want to jump in at any time, please do, because I am long-winded and nobody wants to listen to me.
Yeah, I was thinking. Wait, I got an echo. I don't know what happened here.
Whoops.
Why am I? I don't have the chat window open. Oh, anyway, I'll try anyway. It's hard to do that when I. Okay, I think it stopped. What I was thinking is that it's not going to be possible to incorporate everybody's ideas, because some are going to be conflicting. Of course, everybody's guessing in the dark right now, and I think what we need to start with is just careful observation and not make a bunch of logical fallacies, because sometimes we jump to conclusions. We all have the same data. It's just like the creation evolution debate. You have the same observations, but you reach different conclusions because you come to the table with different presumptions and sometimes bad logic. And so, we have to be careful not to be making those bad. And a fallacy is just an error in reasoning, and it like jumping to conclusions or something like personal attacks, stuff like that. But if we could get everybody to concentrate on being better observers and being more the scientific method, where you observe something and you eliminate all the possible variables and all that sort of thing. And the problem is that we can only observe so much, because we're limited by line of sight to a certain distance, even with a telescope, because like the Taboo Conspiracy videos showed over water or over the salt flats, even with a P900, there comes a point where, like I think it was like 10 miles or something, where things just disappear. And it has nothing to do with curve, and we can prove that you can his wife could keep driving and driving, and it's still flat, and she didn't go over any curve, but you could watch the car just disappear from the top and bottom. It just shrunk, just like over the ocean. And the problem there is that we've got optic issues, we've got atmospheric interference, heat rising, all sorts of things that mess with our perception. And so when we're doing these observations, we got to be more careful. It's like watch the sun. They need to have more, I don't want to say professional, but careful scientific method when people set up their cameras and they record, what's the aperture, what's the f-stop, what's the millimeter, like if you have a 50 millimeter lens, then that's basically the same as your human eye. So you're not zooming or anything. It's just human eye if you're at 50 millimeters. And do more of that, because zooming is when you want to see a detail, not when you want to get an idea of distance. Just little details like that. And I think the reason people are talking past each other so much is because we're not trained in the scientific method, not to say scientism, but careful observation. That's all I'm saying.
We're all just pissed at each other. And I mean that politely, and I believe Paul knows what I'm saying here.
Right.
Yeah, just Yeah, boy, there are so many different things, and there. Wow. I listened to and I mentioned obviously Robert a lot, and I mentioned a lot of people a lot. Paul, I mentioned your channel a lot too, and
thanks.
Yeah, Jimmy and Stefan, and everybody, of course Brian's, and but everybody else, because we everybody's kind of got their own thing, kind of coming together, and obviously everybody has differences, but we can all agree that sometimes they kind of collide with each other, and it's like no, and so yeah, that's the difficult part. I would go back with the salt flat. With the salt flats were not made by man,
right?
And it was a dried up lake, or it was a lake which is now dried up, if that's the better way to say it. For that to be more than 2 miles across with no curve, okay, that's a problem. If it's 3, that's a problem. If it's 5, obviously the salt flats go on. And I've never been to Bonneville. So, I've seen it. You watch some movies or I watch racing and stuff like that. So yeah, I understand. I know exactly. To see something that long and flat, okay, well the curve has to be made up on the other side because that's dried up and now it's like flat on the other side. So the other side, all of a sudden, it goes down.
Well, yeah, it used to be in the sea. It used to be sea level, so it's like frozen sea level.
Yeah, which, again, even based on the amount of land that it covers, that drop would have to be made up somewhere. And I know Hillbilly's good at this with excavating. And obviously Hillbilly and I have had many chats because I'm a builder as well, so that caught my ear right away and jumped right in with him on the way you lay pipe and the amount of flow, and it has to go a certain way, and it's from a controlled plane. I totally get that because obviously you're not on what you're putting in the ground. You're a little bit taller, and that's the controlled plane which has to go on. And that, even the Bonneville salt, and this is the first time it's been mentioned, the Bonneville salt flats that I've heard. Yeah, that's where they go for the land speed records all the time, and that sucker is. And I don't know the distance from side to side, so please forgive me, guys. I don't know the distance side to side, but I know it's long to the point where you could almost get up to any. Wait a second, got a text message. Okay, sorry about that. You can just go, man. You can go and go and go and go and go and go and go, and that thing. I don't even know if there's an instrument that is accurate enough, even digitally or laser-wise, that could go and shoot from side to side. That is so long. That part of it is a very large question because it would have to have some kind of curve, even on the land. And of course, it means, and hey, Hillbilly's out there, Hillbilly. Mean sea level, and the way that you describe that from side to side and everything. This is a landmass we're talking about, which could be manipulated by excavators or something happening or whatever. Sea level is sea level though, and it's totally flat. Let's go to an inner lake body of some kind, and I don't mean the Great Lakes because obviously they're larger, and it's they're larger, and obviously fresh water, which not manipulated by salt vibration, which we've presented in the last video and stuff like that. There are different things happening with fresh water. Fresh water, it does. I wish Brian was here because Brian actually called me on this one the other day. It has its own level. I mean, you go out in the morning and there's a place not far from here. Okay, what were we talking about? Because we remember the salt water, and I'm more into.
Okay.
versus freshwater.
I used to live in Hawaii. I lived in Michigan for half my life, and the other half, or I should say Hawaii for half, and then moved to Michigan. But I've lived all over the United States too. But I lived in those two spots. And when I was younger, I didn't realize this until after the flat Earth. But I noticed something was different. When I was in Hawaii, the water would be like if you're sitting on the beach and you're watching the waves. Sorry, if I have to mute this, I might have company real quick. But if you're sitting on the beach and you're watching the waves come in, almost no matter what, whether there's a boat went by or whatever, it usually comes out to be the same number every time, all the time. Didn't matter really whether a boat went through and made another one or not. Almost every time they went like, I'd say 9 or 15. I don't remember the number exactly, but it's the same all the time, pretty much, you know, almost all the time. Well, you go to Michigan, and I'll be sitting on the beach, and that's freshwater. You got regular tides just like everywhere else, but the number with the waves coming in is sporadic. There's no any kind of order to it. So there's something different with saltwater versus freshwater. There's got to be, you know,
yeah.
And it has to do with the salt. I had that other thing I told you guys before about taking that salt, you know, the salt water, placing that DNA in it, pushing that sound through it, recording the sound, and then going across the continent, playing that sound into a vial that had just salt water in it, and they pushed the sound that had the DNA playing in the sound. You know what I mean? They pushed it and made a sound
Yes.
wave, recorded it, and played it back. And when they played it back, on the other side, after they were done, DNA was in that vial, and it was exactly the same DNA that was in the other one. That was they didn't give them DNA. They didn't swap it back and forth like that. It was just done by sound and salt. So I'm gonna have to mute this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for explaining that, and a little bit of adding to that with the saltwater versus natural lakes, and obviously larger bodies of lakes, you know, do have a higher and lower tide type of thing. If you go to a regular, like a man-made lake, well, it could have a man-made high and low tide, obviously, because you've got an infeed and they have to let some of the water out. I grew up, you know, spending summers at a place in Pennsylvania, gorgeous place, and I spoke about it many times, Lake Wallenpulpack up in Pennsylvania. Gorgeous place up by Hawley, Pennsylvania, and that is a man-made 1 mile lake across. And boy, if you woke up in the morning early and the sun's coming, and again, I didn't even know anything about flat Earth or anything, it was literally a sheet of glass. And looking across, the thing that got me the most was and everybody picks on you because it's okay, it's so many inches per mile and this and that and everything else. Okay, there's zero. It is absolutely flat. I could look across, I could see the other side, which was, boy, I could sit on the beach, and at that time I'm 6'3". I'm a little taller now, but as a kid I would just go right down on the dock, on the water, you know, a couple feet above, and I'd look across and I would see all the way across that thing. Everything was visible, including the buoys underneath the dock that I was seeing, the dock itself. There were obviously some obstacles where you couldn't see the entire way around it, but for somebody to tell me that the place I grew up in had a bulge in the center or some kind of a drop or one end's higher, that's what really started me on, you know, the flat Earth journey. And thanks to a lot of people, and I have to give my hats off to several for just, you know, getting me started and getting me pardon me, into the live chats, and you know, coming up with a bunch of different ideas put together, and the way that different things work together that we are not being told. I would say the satellite thing might not all be totally false, which I did in the beginning say, oh, well, they're not. Well, I was watching several videos with a lot of obviously good people on the videos, and they were talking about the helium balloons and pulling up the satellites and everything else, and the way to retrieve them. Excuse me, is similar to how the military. I'm just guessing, or I know a lot of people hate the word theorizing. I will say this: the military can fly their newest stealth fighter right underneath a jet that's got plenty of fuel to refuel it in midair. Who's to think that when these satellites or these balloons are starting to come down, that they can't retrieve them, not at that kind of speed, of course, but retrieve them at some kind of speed where they can still capture or recapture the satellite, refilling a helium balloon and placing another one up where it's supposed to be, and bringing that one down for service and just recycling these things. Who's to say it's not possible? I mean, it certainly could be possible. And started thinking about that last night. As I mentioned to Brian before, we were talking before we actually started the chat, and I was like, hey, look, what if we had the TV station here, and it's all done by frequency. You got a tower here that shoots up, that pings off, that goes over, that comes down, that pings over, and there's your triangulation, and it's done on land, and it's done land to land by cable, of course, because that land mass represents all land mass, and obviously there's water in between land masses, so it's a generalization, and certainly not to scale, but it's from our perspective of our reality of what we are looking at, it's a very good depiction of putting a lot of people's things that they are infighting or fighting about to rest, because I would almost say, and please enter in the comments once this is over, there's a lot of, and Paula did correct me on a couple of biblical things that are wrong with it, of course, with the way the definitions of things are. However, if you look at that, it encompasses a lot of people's arguments, because it's dome shaped, it's flat land, you've got a nice shelf, you've got a layer, which I have been corrected, which is the layer, the firmament is between the waters above and waters below. And I hope Paula doesn't yell at me. I hope I got that correct.
Oh, yeah, no, you got it. That's fine.
Okay. Because I'm a work in progress. Just bear with me.
No problem.
In between that layer, you've got the waters above and a layer in between, and there's actually a hydro layer out there where the sun is in that layer, the moon is in the water layer, the stars are in between those two, with the North Star being straight up above the landmass, and that's the one that's spinning, perhaps. Another video, very good one, with the nanodiamond, and looking into that, okay, what if they were affixed in a certain position, never to change, in that middle liner that is actually turning, which actually creates the sound that reacts with the salt water to create a high and low tide, because salt does react to megahertz, as we've seen in many videos also. It's out there like a work in progress. I don't know. I think it's it's pretty interesting to me. I love the challenge. I always love a good challenge, and this one seems to be one of the best. Oh man. Oh, and Hillbilly's out there busting my chops. Oh, it's good. I just saw the chat. It is good to see everybody. I hope everybody's getting along out there. We just get along in the chat, and woo. A lot of different ideas. A lot of different ideas. Trying to wrap it and get a lot of people. A lot of people's ideas into one model is very, very difficult. Trust me, it took quite a while to even come up with as close as we've gotten to everybody's ideas. What it is, not really sure, but I have to thank an awful lot of people for their different contributions to what you're looking at there, because there have been so many of them, just a ton of them.
Hey, Larry. I'm up past my bedtime again. I need to get some sleep. I'm going to be busy tomorrow. We got a nephew getting married and company coming, so I may or may not be on sometime during the day, but probably not much in the afternoon. So, thanks for inviting me and all.
You have a good night.
No, first of all, first of all, congratulations. That's awesome, and good luck, obviously.
Thanks.
Good luck to the new bride and groom and stuff like that, and on their way. And we didn't mean to keep you up. I'm glad you got a chance to join in. We'll try to do them a little bit earlier. I know there was some others.
You always start these things when I'm getting real tired.
Well, you know what? Try to start it a little bit earlier, but there were so many other things. Brian and I, we try not to go, like step on whoever is doing something. So if somebody's running pretty good, we try not to put something out. And not that we pull a lot of people or anything like that, but we just don't want to pull from the content, because I think the content, whether it's good or bad, it's still content. I don't mean the infighting, arguing. I mean the content itself that's being put out there is just good content.
Yeah. Thank you. You have a good one.
Thank you, Paul. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Okay.
Ding dong.
Uh-oh. No, ding dong. That's what that. No, don't say that. Peaches will come out and hit me with a wrench.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, don't start with that.
That's a theory.
No. You'll get it all starting south. We certainly don't want to do that.
Right. So are we pretty much done with this? Do you guys want to move on to start and just do regular questions and other things on the chat, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, actually, Brian, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and carry this for a minute, because I just got to go check on the little one, and I shall be back in a moment. So
how is everybody going on in the chat? Was there any questions that was put out there that someone we couldn't answer because we don't know, or was there something that I missed or Larry missed? Remember, it's a work in progress, so we're just checking things out and trying to get other people's views. Hey, Flat Circle. Morning. Yeah, I'm about to, I think, change that if I can. There we go. Better. Well, okay, when they say unpillars, do they mean the landmass itself that we're on? Or is that what everything is on? What we have all the waters, and we have the landmass around us that's all ice. Is the pillars supporting that and everything, or are the pillars supporting just the landmass? That's what I've always wondered. Man, I can't get that thing to stop. Okay, so then it could be in a way possible that, okay, if you had technology to build all of this and a dome, okay, and to set everything up, then we can say that they might have been able to make something that it could be floating or it could be anchored. I don't know. I'm just asking, you know, or putting the idea out there. Oh, okay. So, Richard, you're saying to like say that. Okay. So, okay. Nothing floating. That's what. So that's what you're theorizing so far, right? It's pretty much like an island attached to the ground, like attached to the ocean floor, built up. Pretty much all this is. No, I was answering the question or talking with Solo at the same time. If you lost me, like you lost, there's lag or something, I can go back a little bit, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, that that drawing really, when he put the water underneath it, it was just we were talking about the waters ahead, above from below and stuff like that. So that's all he was emphasizing, you know. What's up, Larry or JR?
Oh, nothing. I'm just outside right now. I was trying to find the moon.
Oh man, you don't know how many times we've been looking out and here we don't see it. And I'll look and there's a feed that says from from a location in Las Vegas. Oh, okay, Larry. About the feed in Las Vegas, that there's a camera feed that shows the moon, and me and my dad were looking at it the other night, and we look at the spot where it's showing, and it's all clear, stars, no moon. So we know right there, okay, they're feeding us crap right there. You know what I mean? It's definitely
Yep.
crap. Larry don't like my hat. Hold on, let me read the chat real quick. Okay, thank you. Okay, it started back up. Pillow. A pillar will always go to the base. Question is, where's the base? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, Hillbilly. You know, I mean, if we had technology that was beyond us, you could invent something that might be able to make all this landmass at the bottom of it float. I don't know. I'm just, the way we were talking earlier, that was one of the ideas that somebody had said. So we were just saying, you know, is it stuck or is it floating? We don't, you know, what is it? You know, that's where we started talking about the pillars and all that. Now hold on, let me read. Okay, let's go all the way down. They don't have water underneath the pillars. Okay, so Solo's saying that pretty much he thinks that the pillars are it. That's what's supporting. So what are the pillars on? That's the question, I guess. You can still be right about the waters below and connected with the waters above and the firmament. Yeah. Okay, Richard, yeah. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. We're not sure. That's out there, you know. Okay, no waters above the pillars itself. That's pretty much, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That's the bottom, but what is it on, you know?
What the hell is going on with that?
Oh, Hillbilly, yeah, just to say they go all the way down is pointless. Yeah, that's what I mean. Down to, me and you are both asking the question down to what? You know what I mean? And that's a question we're always going to have, you know, I guess, until we figure it out.
It's just
Hold on a second, guys. Let me do something real quick. Something I gotta just to be nice. Okay, we're back to the chat real quick. LOL teabag. Nah, okay, that's funny, I guess. Water on the pillars. You're right. You're right. I gotta mute for a second. Like, what do you mean, like the metal? Real life, or wait, sorry. Metal, like on the bottom, and that's what we can't drill through? Is that what you mean? Like that part, going down that far? Oh, okay. Solo. No, 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 no. I think what Larry, he wasn't, okay, he wasn't stating that it was like that. He was just basically saying the water's from above to below, the way some things are said. But I don't think he was stating that if he was, okay, if you would say that there was water right there, I don't think he was trying to say that the continents were shifting a lot. No, the way I think he was looking at it, like the continents are in the center, and then you have all the water, which we do have water around it that separates us from Antarctica. So, I don't know. Like I said, that was just a crude model that we're just trying to get an understanding around it, and some of it's just drawn for an example. So that's pretty much it. Okay, yeah, that's yeah. There's got to be a bottom where it's on, I guess. That's the way I would see it. I don't know how to say it. But what that bottom is, I don't know, and we don't know. It's weird. Oh, okay. Richard said something about earthquakes are real. What causes them are not known. Yeah, they claim that it's the faults shifting and stuff like that. But at the same time, remember Tesla created that earthquake machine that actually worked. So at this point, we could have other things out there that are different. I'm not even saying that land masses do move or they don't. I'm just speculating that now there's other ways that they can cause the same effect. Yeah. Okay. Real light. Wade. If they were the machines and stuff like that, what about before our time? And that would have to go in with, there are tunnels that have been found that are down there that are claimed to be older than they can even check. So things could have been made by other beings, other things, even us, as in later on future versions, not future versions, but other, I don't know.
I'm just saying that that's possible. You know, so I don't know. Oh, wait, Richard, you said something wait about the weird sounds that are being heard all over. Like you're talking about the ones that are being heard all over the world lately in the last few years. You know, yeah, that's weird. We don't know what that is. You can't pinpoint it either. Yeah, I believe there possibly could have been another, like we're here, we advance, we leave, or could have went somewhere else, or just faded into the background, and now you let the next generation, in a way, move up, and then they get so far, they learn, and you know.
Come on.
Oh, Dad. Give me a second, guys. Sorry.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back.
Hey, no problem, no problem. I just had to check something real quick. That was fine.
Yep, had to go inside and make sure everything was good. Everything is good, so.
Okay, I'll get back to the chat really quick. We were just talking on and off about stuff.
Oh, good.
Oh no, everything's Richard. Everything's good here so far. Military, at least 100 years. Ahead of what's coming, folks. I believe it's even further than 100 years, Wade. I really do. I think they're. Yeah, either we got so far, and then discovered other things, or we just discovered other things, or they got introduced to us somehow. I really think that the powers to be, how do you say, they're way more spirit than us. Who's to say they're not already hooked in and they can go in and out of the dome or whatever you want to say, you want to call it.
Not sure
Oh,
where
thank
you
you.
got. Yep, not sure where
We
you
were
guys
just bouncing back and forth on stuff on the chat.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're
It's
all right.
all over the place. It's all over. But I think we're caught up.
Any did we have any questions? I had to go in and just check on one of my youngest is here, so just had to go in and check on her real quick. And just got back. I didn't hear any of the questions or anything that were presented. And let's not go over them again. Don't need to. Obviously Brian answered those.
I'll fill you in later. It's really quick. They pretty much got it, but they just started asking certain questions about this and that, and I explained that it's just a rough model and a rough sketch, so don't take certain things so serious, blah, blah, blah. That sums it up.
Yeah, it's something that kind of encompasses what everybody's talking about. So, everybody to be fighting back and forth about certain things, it's not that close because, I mean, it'll never be that close. It'll never be something that everyone agrees upon. It's going to be something that is looked at, and it encompasses an awful lot of things. It encompasses a ton of things that everybody is talking about, and it was something that I decided to put out there. I've had Brian's help on a lot of things. Decided to really throw it out there, and hey, what do you think about this? I had another thing come at me last night as I was looking around. It was right in front of my face. And that's where the satellite thing came from, which with the hot air balloons, and kind of drew that up there, got it started, and started with that. And then you can go back to the other video, watch that also. Not the whole thing. You can watch certain parts. Just take a couple pieces of it where I presented, and obviously Brian was there too. Just presented. Okay, this is what I'm looking at and thinking it could possibly be, and take a look at this and see what you think. Leave it in the comments. Just be nice about it. Nobody has to agree. It does wrap a lot of things together. And by the way, for those who do the spelling on a lot are A, and then a space, and then L-O-T. Boy, I had an English teacher in high school that was so domineering on the elotitis, she used to call it. Too many people put a lot in all together. So when you spell out a lot, do it A space L-O-T. Just saying.
That's a lot to remember.
Yeah, exactly. Not all. Yeah. Let's not just group it together.
Yeah.
Oh, recap. Oh, Ron's out. Ron's out there. Recap the gist.
Okay, go ahead. I gotta take one small. I'm still here, but hold on.
Okay. No, go ahead. No, go ahead. If you need to mute or something, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. Recap the gist of the model. The gist of the model would be, boy, it's so many different things. It's a flat land surrounded, and some people will criticize, but just let me say it in the way that I think and in my terms. And I know some will, obviously be a little upset. So forgive me for the terms I use, but the way to describe it is the side of a snow globe, which if you had one, and I'm a little bit older, so I do remember these, snow globe, which actually had a dome over the top, which had a layer, and then you had liquid inside. You shake it up, turn it upside down. The land mass itself was flat. It did not have a complete rounded bottom as if it was a basketball or round, but had a little bit of a shallower bottom, had pillars, and it encapsulates, which again, I hate to use that word, I'm just using my own here, so many different things, because you look at that and you got the flat earth, which I do believe flat, inside of a dome, a sphere of some sort, which actually protects us for, I'm sure, many reasons which we don't understand. The underneath is holding in the waters below, which are the seas. You've got the ice wall that goes around and encompasses the entire outside. Again, this is a side view, or a slice, if you will, out of the center of that snow globe. And we don't know how big or how small it is. Some may, and may just be keeping that a secret, and that's a shame. That's a shame. I went further in saying inside the top of the dome, and I've been corrected on this because the dome is maybe possibly a thick layer which has a center, if you will, a layer in it, which actually has, and again, I've watched many videos which have possible nanodiamonds which are connected to it, which are affixed, which do not move, looking straight up at the polar star. The middle the middle of the two spins every 24 hours. We're stationary. The waters are actually between us and the stars, which shine through. The moon is in that water part of the dome. The sun is on the outer, which is the the gaseous. Boy, I'm going to butcher that one. Basically, hydrogen gas, where the sun is shining through, and because of the hydrogen that is in that realm is the reason that the light bounces up and down on the stars, which you can see during the day. Maybe not see when you're up so high, and see through the waters above. Good question. And the spinning of the middle section, if you will, because the stars are rotating, that actually is what is creating the sound vibration, which is interacting with salt water, creating not only the tides, also so many different things. I mean, we've all seen how megahertz and sound waves react with salt. And it was just a thought that I had. The other thing which I added to it, which I can add different things to it and take it down and erase the whole thing and draw it again, was the satellite issue with the hydrogen balloons, or helium balloons, pardon me, I keep getting that backwards. Helium balloons that pull the satellites up. If the helium balloons actually are raised until, obviously, they can stay up there a long time and they have satellites attached to them, that could triangulate a satellite feed across the inner side of the firmament, which will ping signals all the way over, or all over the place. Of course, they could be very small, we don't know, which would be received and accepted and sent via radio LAN towers, via cables down to TVs, which are satellite dishes are definitely not pointing up. They're pointing to, well, here where I live in the northeast, they're pointing into the southwestern sky, which is possibly where that ping is coming from in order to receive the images that I see on my own TV set. Does that sound pretty close? I know there's a delay too, guys, so I know obviously it'll take a minute for I think it's something seem to be local on your side, Starlight's in water, maybe. Yeah, that's there. Yeah, there are so many questions, and excuse, pardon me. There are so many questions, so many good questions, which I don't think anyone can answer.
Hey, sorry guys, I'm also taking care of my dad, so there's times I have to jump off fast, but I'm here. But just letting you, I want to let everybody know that's what's going on. So just letting you.
No, it's good. No, go ahead. And we're not going to be on too long. I've got my little one here and stuff. So, and as we all know, that people that have little ones, they get up very early. It seems like they can tell when the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No pun intended, but they can be up very, very early sometimes. So.
Larry, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll start after you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say so we're not going to be up too long, but wanted to put out a quick video and share it with friends. And obviously, we're going to do this earlier. I know we're both on two different coasts, so these things will be on definitely earlier than we've been. Because
I agree.
Yeah, everybody's running like around the clock on these type of things, and I actually myself took a couple days liaison, and I listened to some when I could. And they don't need to be so late. They can be put on during the day, and obviously everybody can go back and replay them and stuff like that, and comment, which I do welcome comments. I know Brian welcomes comments as well.
Mhm.
Just to comment on what's going on, and throw in whatever you want to throw in. Just be kind. Obviously, a lot of people don't understand, or maybe get, or they're maybe a little upset. Just trying to put everything together, because it's not that everyone is wrong, it's that everyone could be just a little bit correct.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what I chatted earlier today, and just kind of feeling out a little bit of the feedback, because let's suppose for a second, I don't like to assume, I like to suppose. Let's suppose for a second that everybody is a little bit correct, and what would that model look like? And that's the one that really is got my attention right now. And the reason it does, because none of us have all the answers. None of us can answer all of what needs to be answered. Whether you, I, or anyone has the good book of any kind, because there are so many different religions. I do believe in God, a creator. Yes, I absolutely do. And then that's where it starts to be skewed by different things that have happened throughout what we've been told. Oh yeah, Richard. Yeah, Richard. Trust me, I'm very strong in being my own man. There's absolutely no problem with that. I'm sure you can ask many people that. Yeah, no. And I see Hillbilly out there too, a little bit correct. Leaves the room for a lot wrong, and wow. I think so many have had a lot wrong for so long that everybody has a little bit of the pieces, and perhaps maybe needs to build a puzzle. And boy, I can't. I agree with a lot of things Hillbilly says and does. I agree with a lot of stuff that different other folks do. Robert Bassano's attacking it from a different way, and with all the information he has, which some of it is way above my head. I do totally get where he's coming from, and I have a lot of common sense to add to it. Brian Mullen, I've spoken of him many times with the physics he does and everything, and Force the Line is his new experiment. You have different people that are doing so many different really good things, and it's all pointing to something. And the people that are the folks, not being hateful of any kind, the folks that are actually pushing the round ball could be pushing. It is very possible they're actually pushing the same thing, because if you look at what I drew and go back earlier, it might not be a ball, it might be oblique, it might be pear-shaped, it might be a little bit funky looking, but boy, that snow globe matches an awful lot of what everybody's saying on every side. Wouldn't that be interesting if it actually came out that it was pretty close?
Yeah. Either way, that's why we're kind of doing this, to get everybody's kind of point of view, to let them look and see, and let we get feedback and kind of go with what we think, and it's kind of neat. I like it.
Yeah. I would say it's a little short. I think the whiteboard I need, either I have to make the drawing smaller, or maybe get a whiteboard that's like the size of the wall, because, and by the wall I don't mean the ice wall, so don't misquote me. A little bit bigger, and the reason being, if and only if the protective layer, let's call it, instead of a dome, the protective layer over the top is so far away outside on the ice shelf that so many things could exist, because you get somebody launches a weather balloon down in Antarctica. Okay, well, according to my drawing, they would hit it in like 17 feet. It'd be like, boom, oh, there it is. You know, that's so the drawing is a little bit crude. Perhaps it's so much bigger, and the ice itself on the outside is so much more vast that we can launch and go up to a certain point. Because again, being an encapsulated thing, the thing of it is the dead center. Well, top dead center, that's a building term, and I know Hillbilly will get that one right away. The top dead center would be the highest point, and the outers would be closer to whatever, you know, was the protective layer above us. So that would be a little different. So again, it's not the scale. It's something I put together, if you can believe this. The original one I put together, Brian helped me out here, in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was fast. The first thought. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one took a little bit more time and took me, you know, maybe an hour or so to kind of fill it in, and then another half hour to add some stuff to it, and then go from there. So obviously it's a work in progress, and none of us have the answers, but so many of us have very, very good backgrounds and very good points. And my thought was, what if we took all those good points and great points and put everybody's together to equal what we really have? Okay, Ron wants me to get a digital projector. That's funny. I need an overhead projector. That's
right.
Yeah, that cracked me up. Part of this we first spoke it a lot wrong. Turns off the years before the hero will correct. You know what, Hillbilly? That's a good point, because I don't want to say a little correct. We're all correct in what we're thinking, and it's going to take an awful lot of us collectively to get together to put it together. So maybe I misspoke when I said a little correct, because I did not want to make light of anybody's a little bit correct, because I am not to judge anyone. I would not do that. I need everybody's input. I didn't mean it the way it came out, so I perhaps misspoke there. I think everyone is a lot correct about a lot of different things, and that's what needs to come together. There are so many good things, and putting all those together, woo! You want to talk about getting 10 people together and putting all their ideas together into one thing. Woo! Man, I'm going to be ridiculed. They're all good. I'm going to have 9 people want to kick my ass.
Now that's funny.
Well, I didn't want to. I did misspeak when I said because I meant a part of the puzzle, and I misreferenced what I was saying. And I know so many hang on words, and it has to be done a certain way, and stupid infighting will never stop. Right. Yeah, that's true too. So some people do thrive on the infighting, and some will never agree. Some will go by the wayside, and the thing that I believe is the cream always rises to the top, and the ones that are still around that help, kind of put things together. That's great. Let's just say for a second, the perfect model were to come out tomorrow. Okay, and I know Hillbilly's response to this, and some others out there. The perfect model comes out tomorrow. There are so many things that are upside down to fix, and I totally respect and understand that. And as many know me, and many know not only what I've gone through, and I've been very open about and talked about many a time, that there are so many things. So for a second, this being right or wrong, maybe get a little perspective and put some ideas together. But true, nobody will collectively agree on everything. It's just it's totally impossible. It wouldn't make us who we are without yeah, we couldn't all just agree and agree and agree and agree. It would just be the end of an argument just to go on to something else, and that wouldn't be the correct thing. So yeah, I understand that. Excuse me, I understand that, and it was just kind of a starting point to put a bunch of stuff together and start from there, because there are so many good people who will be able to add and really like add and add and add. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Hillbilly. Yeah, I know with the courts and stuff. And yeah, Solo Cat's out there. I see Richard out there. I see a lot of people chatting. I'm paraphrasing and kind of skimming through because I'm catching certain things. So I do apologize. Pardon me if I don't get to you right away. But, there are so many good things with everyone. But try not to forget that, and try not to forget the good things that are going on. I mean, after all, would all of us have been here on a Friday evening, this early or late, or perhaps lunchtime? I mean, obviously it's 12 noon somewhere. As the saying goes, would all of us have collectively been around or listening? Obviously open chatting, and I do invite the ones, because you also see a lot of viewers inside, and numbers and stuff. Yeah, they go up and down. We know they're manipulated and everything. You see certain friends and everybody chatting, and we're all a lot of us are really on in connection on a good page and everything, and the folks in the viewing section kind of sit back and just kind of watch, and until you get the courage to maybe chat a few things. And people knew me when I first started, and I mean, man, I could joke about anything. I can crack a joke about no matter what, whether it's good, dirty, bad, indifferent. I mean, I could do, and the laugh, yeah, the laugh. I mean, I can just go on for hours with that one. But then I started to really think about it, and get to the point where you really start to kind of look at it and start with that. Throw some ideas out there. I mean, anybody who's coming up with a what if or model, or hey, what do you think about this, or talking to friends, or hey, I'm kind of leaning this way. What do you think about it? Just a few folks getting together and coming up with some ideas. For me, that's where it all starts, I think.
Sorry, I missed something. Sorry.
No, it's all right. We just ordered Domino's.
Domino's, eh? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just joking around. I said, sorry, we ordered Domino's.
That's a good thing. I mean, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. I don't. I don't need that. I don't need that stuff. But it was just one of those things. One of those commercial references type of haha.
Yeah. Like showing like me going something like this. I'm thirsty. I'm gonna get myself something to drink.
Oh, Power Pro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Advertising,
Yeah.
Just to let everybody know, when we're done here, I'll probably start one up probably about 30 minutes after. I don't know how much longer you want to go, Larry. You said you got stuff to do, or what?
Yeah, I've got the little one, so I'll probably do another 5. I'll probably shut down in about 5 minutes or so. But I do want to thank everybody, obviously, Brian, JR, I know is in there for a little bit. Peaches is still here. She monitors in the background. She's actually still here, sitting right behind me. Say hello, Peaches.
Hello.
There she is. And you know, everybody in chat who contributed, and hope everybody got along. You know, obviously there's a little bit of, you know, back and forth out there. There always is and always will be, and that's cool. That's totally
We
cool.
try to keep it down, but there always is. Everybody knows that. We try. Right, Hillbilly? Everywhere we go, it's there, right?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is, and they're moving over to the chat's moving over to different things. Laser scale center, unemployment numbers at least 3 times. Well, yeah, and unemployment too. I mean, I have a little bit to say for that, and actually I'm going to stay on and talk about that for a little bit, just because the scale of unemployment does not include self-employed people. Self-employed people, as myself, that, you know, go job to job and have thousands upon thousands of bosses through the years, because that is the job you get. You work for the homeowner. That is your boss.
Right.
That is who you work for. Those people are not counted, and that is something that is very, very skewed as far as the number, because
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be a number that it's huge.
yeah, that number is huge. I know for myself in New Jersey, no self-employed person can collect uninsured employment. No, the list goes on and on. I mean, it is something where we are left out of the loop. If I'm in between jobs and go down to the unemployment office, they laugh at my face. But I have to pay into it, because working for my own company as a separate entity, paying myself as a separate entity, I have to take out for that, which I can never collect. And a lot of people don't know
Right.
that. So I will say, for some of the misconstrued facts out there, that a lot of people that have their own companies and all of a sudden find themselves in a bad place, there's a lot of them. I know in New Jersey, it's all of them self-employed. A lot of them across the country, different laws apply, of course, cannot collect and do not show as any part of that unemployment chain, including self-employed farmers and people that are in agriculture and those types of businesses. So that number is absolutely 1,000%, and I hate to use that number, but 10 times 100 skewed in what they're saying, because that number is something that is, oh, wow, very, very, very underrated. Oh my God, so underrated. It just crazy. Something I'm very passionate about too, because that really pisses me off, because guys like myself, and there are so many of us, are not included in those numbers whatsoever. And I see pillboxes out there. Pillbox, I have a. Oh yeah, no, it's okay. Pillbox is out there. I know there's a 20-second delay. I see he's out there. Pillbox, I have a funny story for you, and it's going to go like this, and you're going to love this. Peaches, myself, and a friend of ours went out yesterday, and stayed out of the place. Had some fun. Went out to a casino. Okay, some people don't like that. So went out to the casino. We're on the way to the casino, and as we're going, we're driving. There's 3 of us, and we're meeting a 4th one out there. The funny thing is, we get passed by a minivan, a Dodge Caravan, and we were in the little Chevy S10 pickup truck. And the van passed us, and I'm like, all right, you want to go around? Go ahead. And it just went, vroom. And I yelled, pillbox! Peaches lost it. It was so funny. Our friend that was with us had no idea what was going on. But then we kind of explained, and we kind of had a fun time with Mr. Pillbox out there. it was funny. It was a good time, and we all got a good laugh out of it. Behind enemy lines. Tinker Tiger's out there. Ran here for cover. Oh, ran for cover. Yeah, Richard's out there laughing.
We just went over to Sutter.
Okay. All right, I'm being filled in from Peaches, who fills me in and stuff sometimes. Because I go off on a tangent. Once in a while. Just once in a while. How dare look at Pillbox. How dare you? That's great. That's great. Oh man. So, I'm not sure when. I know. I believe Brian's going to fire up another hangout right after this. I actually have my youngest one here. The rest of the kids are all doing a thing on vacation.
Give me about 20 to 30 minutes.
We lost you there. What did you say?
Oh, I was just saying, give me about maybe 15, 20 minutes, right around there, and I'll fire one up.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds good. That sounds good. So everybody, Brian's going to fire one up next. I'm sure it'll be Q&A on some of the stuff we went over. For now, I want to thank Brian. I know JR was in and out, didn't really get a chance to really throw in there. I know I was away for a little bit. Obviously, Peaches. All the moderators, thank you out there.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, all the moderators and all the folks for joining and sharing in the chat, because I think that's very important. It's very important for the people in chat too. I tend to notice a lot of what's going on in chat. Sometimes I do miss things, and I do apologize, but I like to watch it as well, because everybody has something to add and to offer, and a lot of people that, there's so many viewers. Of course, the numbers are all over the place sometimes.
Thank you.
That's okay, but just throw a hello or something in there, because there's no such question as a wrong one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you like hanging out, listening, please like it. I don't know if it makes a difference, but we're trying to gauge whether or not it's an endless process of trying to gauge if they're on it right, if they're telling us false numbers or not. So that's why I ask this a lot. If you like it, if you do, if you don't do nothing. That way we know one way or another they're pushing the numbers or they're not. You understand what I mean? So, but thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. God bless everybody. Have a great night. Brian, as always, good chat. We'll do them a little bit earlier, because I know we want to get some people kind of affiliated with maybe a different time or a good time, because it's all over the place.
Earlier start. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Trying to bounce around a little bit and stuff like that. But I want to thank everybody out in chat, and please just leave some comments, add to the model trying to come up with here, good or bad, and the guys are going to start some. I know Brian's going to start one right now, and I'm sure everybody will join on in, and I will see you guys soon. God bless all, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Later.